Okay, I have my whistle wetted. We'll see how it's going to go this morning. Now, excuse me, yesterday I had said that I was going to paint this screened area here and also here with clear. And then my thoughts sort of drifted off into oblivion because I had lost this piece. And I forgot to explain why, but although I'm pretty sure that most people know why. The idea will be that after I let the clear dry, I should be able to use the panel line color here without it wicking its way into the number 22 flat gray, which it does. It just wicks its way something fierce. So the idea, of course, we'll put the clear on, then the panel line color, and then I will do flat clear over top of everything, so it shouldn't be noticed. We'll also use the flat clear to glue the ladder onto the side of this part right here. Anyway, let's get going with our painting here today. And I didn't mean to sound exasperated or tired or anything there. Just that sometimes when I start a shoot here, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, and I'm sort of thinking and sighing out loud. Now, please remember, this is not a tutorial, and I could be doing this wrong. This is just how I'm doing it today, and this is what is happening to me today, and I often make decisions as I go along. I just sort of want to make sure that I get that all filled in underneath there so it's not going to wick. In other words, wick into what I'm painting right now. I do believe that to keep everything uniform on one side here, I'm just going to cover this entire panel. Now, I don't want to be doing it too much, because if I do, I'm going to start dissolving the number 22 there. Make sure that I don't have any little bubbles. Now, on this side here, probably putting it on too thick. That's the story of my life. I'm pretty sure that it's everywhere that it's going to count on. I see a place right there where it isn't. Maybe I should just check the back here. Is there anything else here? How about right here? No, I do believe I got that. Okay, now this side here. Almost looks like it started to dissolve the 22 there. Alright, we'll let that dry. I'm going to do this other piece the same way. About 45 minutes has passed here since I painted this, and I just edited out the last scene that you just saw. And I am glad that I did not say what I had originally planned on saying when I first started painting this, and that is that I had thought that this 22 clear would probably take a lot longer to dry than the XF paints, but it dried extremely quickly. At least I think it did. For instance, my dried brush here is just not making any mark at all. However, I noticed when I was editing, I did a very poor job of painting. I didn't realize until, like I say, when I was watching myself do it in editing, that I'd actually missed some there. But fortunately, it is along the edge here where I have to worry about the panel line accent color wicking its way down into the side. I'm going to give it a little bit longer. We've got the roofs of these things to paint yet, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll do the panel line thing. Now, some of you may have noticed yesterday when I was spraying these little boxes that I was not worried about getting the tops properly sprayed, especially this one here. And if we take our little Popeye the Sailor here, like we did the other day, and put them up against some of these buildings, you realize that they were pretty tall. For instance, this one was probably about, I'm guessing maybe 8 feet tall to the top of that roof there. And yeah, so that they're, now these ones here, these may not have been something that a person would have gone inside of. I don't know why they had a roof on them that looks like it does, but I'm going to paint it as though it was a roof, like I'm going to do these. There's going to be the mushroom vents go in these holes, and in these holes there's going to be a little life raft, and of course this one is going to be our little ladder. But these ones here, they would be about, well, I guess about the same size as a very short, what we would affectionately refer to here in Canada as a two-holer. Yeah, that must have been fun in the wintertime. Well, actually it was. I've had the experience. Anyway, maybe I should reshoot this. On the other hand, we'll just leave it. Okay, so let's get painting here. Now this paint is thinned out, so I am going to have to be careful I don't let it run off the sides. I can well imagine I'm going to need to have 2 coats here. I only want it on the top. Yeah, it's definitely going to take 2 coats. This first coat is sort of acting like a primer, and I do not want to let it run down, so I can't put it on too thick. The tendency is to put it on real thick so you don't have to do 2 coats, but now I'm going to just reposition here so that I can do this just a little bit more carefully. I've got everything kind of lined up so that the camera can see it, and it's not really convenient for me. I should be actually just holding this little part with a pair of pliers or something so that it isn't wanting to rock all over the place. But anyway, you get the idea. We'll take a look at them after we're done. Okay, we've got 2 coats now, and I think it's probably dry enough that it's safe to handle. Now, items like right here where there was a bit of, you might say, an overhang on the roof, well, they were fairly easy to paint, but the ones where there would be an edge, like right here, for instance, I don't know if you can see it, I accidentally got it down the side, and when I tried to wipe it off, there left a little bit of what you might call a watermark. However, let's try our panel line color in these vents. Now, I had forgotten that there is an applicator stuck on the cap of this thing. Now, as Tony suggested, don't put it on real thick. Okay, needs a little right up there, I do believe. Okay, now I think it's on thin enough that I can turn this on its side and it's not going to run down. Now, it almost looks like it needs a little right here. No, maybe not. I'm pretty sure that's going to dry out pretty good. It does look like it's pooled right there where I touched. Maybe I should Where's one of Tennessee Jim's Q-tips here? I think that's going to dry good. Okay, let's see if we can turn this now. Probably going to have to readjust my camera. Okay, I do believe all those little, you might call them pores, are covered. Oh, that's too much, that's too much. Get a little bit off the brush here. Okay, what I did was I got some out of the applicator into a paper towel. Try and remove some of that so that it wick its way back up into the brush here. Okay, one more side. Okay, this time we'll try and get a little less on the applicator. I was thinking of using my little paintbrush. There. And that does appear to be too much, doesn't it? But I think once that dries, it's going to shrink wrap itself around all that, what it was probably in real life something like expanded metal. Now, I want to try something different here. Instead of using this applicator that comes on the end of the cap, I want to just use my smallest paintbrush here. Now I'm hoping that this panel line color will not harm the bristles on this. I don't think they will. It doesn't smell like it's the kind of stuff that will dissolve bristles. Well, it doesn't dissolve the plastic, right? Okay, yeah, I think I'll just have a little better control here. So let's just recompose here, and we'll see if we can do these other 4 panels. It's possible that this brush will not allow enough to be picked up. It is easier to pinpoint where you want to put it, but it has to sort of flood in all those little crevices, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I think this little brush is easier. I think it's easier because it's easier to hold on to the handle. Okay, I think I got up here okay. One more. Oh, I touched off to the side there. Alright, let's let these dry out and then we'll get them on our turntable and have a nice look at them. Okay, I've cleaned out the little brush pretty much as good as I can. I am noticing a little bit of pigment built up near where it goes into the handle part of the brush, but I can't seem to get that out. But I don't think that is from the Panaline color. I think that might have been some kind of paint from before. I have used this brush many times. It's still in really nice shape. Nice little brush. I think once we get the flat clear on it, it's going to look okay. Oh, did I do a bad job of painting there. Anyway. Probably because of the way the light's hitting it, you can't see that they are definitely noticeably darker than the number 22 gray, which kind of looks green, doesn't it? All right, as long as we got the rotator set up, we may as well look at all the rest. Just very quickly here. Seems to me yesterday I did say we'd have a quick look at them. And our mini two-holers. And this is the one we're going to have to put the ladder on later. Our two mushroom vents. Storage lockers of some kind. Although I'm just noticing now these ones have little roofs on them as well, but those things can only be about 4 feet high. Now this one I was debating whether or not to paint the top of it, you know, the 77 dark gray as well, but then I realized that antenna is going to be mounted on this part, and if the top is dark, the black antenna is not going to show up as well. No, there is another one with 4 more pieces on it, except they're the same as what we've already seen, so. All right. Perhaps now is a good time to put our mushroom vents on. And I'm hoping that a pressure fit is all that's going to be needed here, because the extra thin will wick its way all over that paint. Now, is that going to want to stay in there, or is that going to want to just fall out? See if I was to push down on it here. Oh, that's too loose. Okay. I have to get the extra thin and try and put just a tiny little bit in that hole there. This is probably going to be a disaster. Okay, does that look straight? Now here's the thing. I am afraid that possibly even after I paint the flat clear over top of this, it's gonna show up. So I'm just gonna go over this with regular clear. We'll let it dry. I don't want it to go up into our little vent there that we just worked so hard to make look nice. Okay, let's let that dry now, and I think it'll probably look a lot better. We have been here before. Now I want to make sure that I've got this level so that when we pool the flat clear on the surface here over top of the ladder, it doesn't want to run off one side more than the other. That looks pretty good to me. Now I want to be very careful while I'm picking this up that I don't chip the oxidation off of the rung. Don't know if you can see it or not, but you can see where it was before. Well, we'll position it afterwards. I don't want to be poking at it with something metal. Okay, let's get the macro lens on. Now I forgot to check here. If you'll remember, we had concluded that one side looked better than the other. So let's just see if I can turn this over and we'll look at the other side. Okay, this is the worst side. So we had it right the first time. Well, I guess it depends on how the light hits it. Oh, it doesn't matter. In all likelihood, this thing's not going to be too visible anyway. Now, kind of rocks this way. Well, here goes nothing. Now we just want to completely smother it the same way we did before with the clear. We're going to do it with the flat clear. And I want to be aware of the fact that if I get too much on, it's going to run down the sides on me. Let's just sort of straighten this out a bit. I do believe it's completely covered. I know you can't see it, but it appears to me that the bottom is flush with the bottom of this part. Let me just get something here to check on that. Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty sure that is completely covered. Right here. Yeah, it's good. Okay, quit poking at it. Well, that was about 9 to 10 minutes, and I would imagine that the flat clear has shrunk around the ladder as much as it's going to. Now, once again, I realized that I could take something like this and I could probably chip it off of there, but I do believe that under normal handling, it's going to be just fine. Now we have 2 more jobs for our flat clear. We got to use it to cover up the gloss clear that we've got on here, and we've also got to use it as an adhesive for gluing this part right here onto this. But that's going to have to be tomorrow. So thanks for watching, and all being well, We'll see you tomorrow.